Now, without any further ado, let's start today's session. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, good evening to one and all present here. I am Rasu, pediatric occupational therapist. I would thank Mom's Belief team and Mom's Belief Wings to Flight Child Development Center for giving this wonderful opportunity to me. In this session, I am going to discuss about sensory systems impact on children with special needs. Before into the presentation, I request all of you to fill the KWL chart about sensory systems. K stands for what I know, what I think. One second. W stand for what I want to know. L stand for what I learned. So please fill out K1 alone. I hope all of your what I want to know things will be covered in this presentation. So let's move into the presentation. One second. Wow. So here our aim of our study is to discuss why our sensory systems are very important to gain an understanding of sensory modulation and how this affects the child in the home and classroom. So we should understand which sensory part, which sensory systems, which behavior includes in the sensory systems in the home and classroom. So also we need to discuss on the problem solve practical ways we can use and your home and classroom more sensory focused. Yes, absolutely that. Students are mainly the learning and then play development, everything covered with sensory focused. To have example of typical sensory presentation, to take away plenty of practical tips to try about managing behaviors. So I hope everything we will cover. So we'll go for the first slide. Sensory integration. She is the pioneer behind the sensory integration. She is the mother of sensory integration. Dr. Anna Jean Ayers, occupational therapist. She is the only woman first identified sensory integration, integrative dysfunction. So sensory integration is the ability of a person to take in a variety of sensory input, process and understand it and use it. We'll go for next one. So sensory processing challenges can influence how students respond to the environment. Environment means home environment, classroom environment, other mall, theater. So that are the environments. The people, friends, parents, other relatives. So that is a people. So instruction, task, activities. So how they are respond with the environment, people, and instruction. So understanding these influences leads to the selection of effective intervention. So what is your response to taking a cold shower? It's a chillness, it's a tactile input, right? So wool clothing will feel warm, right? So these are the sensory systems, sensory systems. So sweatpants, if you're wearing sweatpants, what do you feel? Immediately want to remove or want to wear long time? So some people want to wear a long time. Some people want to take it off. The feel of jello in mouth. How do you feel? You feel calm, regulated, right? The sound of birds, the humming sound birds, you feel calm. The sound is very clear and calm. Bright colored walls in the bedroom. Okay, so we can sleep better. The smell of perfume. And then elevators. If you're going to the elevators, how do you feel? Something moving, right? Some people are scared about to go with the elevators. Some people likes to go with elevators, also roller coasters, right? So these are the sensory systems we have. So we know sound, so we can hear, that is auditory. Sight, vision, we can look through that. Smell, we can smell through olfactory. Taste, gustatory. So the four senses we know. The introspection is hidden sense. We can't see that. We can't feel it is, right? The power senses are touch. Touch we can see. Touch we can feel it. But vestibular and proprioception is hidden senses. So here, three senses are hidden senses. The five senses we know everybody. So who can affects sensory processing disorder? Sensory processing disorder mean, so if the problem with sensory integration or in the problem with sensory development, they will get sensory processing disorder. Who are all get affected? 12 to 30% of all children might be having problem with that. Some type. Some type mean any small systems like oral sensory. Some of them having touch sensory. So like those are symptoms, they may have problem. 70% of children with learning disorders, autism, ADHD, premature infants, anxiety disorder, head trauma, they these children's definitely having problem with SPD, 70%. Commonly seen in boys, 80% we can see. So possible causes like genetics, it maybe comes from the genetics, prenatal causes, circumstances, and then prematurity, birth trauma, and postnatal complications. So what is sensory processing? So sensory input. Sensory input, where we are getting the sensory input through the environment, person, we already knows, no, that sensory input we are getting from environment, person, instruction, activity, right? So sensory receptors are stimulated through that one. So through the environment, what are the senses we are getting? So we are standing in one position, we are sitting in one position, we are sitting in the chair. Okay, we are listening some other voice. We are looking to the slides. So these are the environmental sensory input. So we are getting through the receptors. So that receptors and that we will discuss about later. So we need to know about sensory processing, how it is processing. So sensory input we are getting through the environment, person, instruction. It is processing through the central nervous system. Sensory information is organized and interpreted, stored, and related to previous experiences. So you are hearing my voice. You can also hear the fan sounds, the AC sounds from some ambulance siren, and then temple bell. So you can more focused on my words. That is the processing. So what is the response? You are learning from my words. That is the response. Your response is generated. So this is the sensory processing. If I ask to stand, you can able to stand. So I am instructing, you can able to stand through the motor. The complete the task is response. Are you clear? So this is the what is sensory processing. Okay. So breakdowns. Breakdowns may occur any point of any point means the sensory input. Sensory input itself, you will get the challenges. Challenges into the intake system are more easily recognized, like auditory, visual, tactile. So through the intake system, if you have problem, definitely the breakdown will get happen. Faulty operation of interpretation and integration of information may be seen as a behavioral issues. Yes, if it is interpreting in the wrong manner or interpreting is a difficulty, so definitely it will be a faulty operation. So negative consequences may only make the situation is worse. So where it is breakdown happen? So in the three point of view, anywhere the processing or sensory input or output. Okay, so here the sensory, why sensory, why we need to do work for sensory? So feed the roots, not the leaves. So this is the roots for all skills. Sensory developmental is a primary skill, primary pre skills for all skills. So in between that tactile, proprioception, vestibular, that is a power sense of our sensory systems. So that is the root for all the learning through the happening. So look at through that cognition, behavior, social skills, language, visual motor, motor planning, attention span, academics, oculomotor, postal security, reflex maturity, body awareness. So everything is the root is the tactile vestibular proprioception. Are you clear? So sensory development. Sensory development, the sensory needs of a person change with the time. Change with time means kids are playing with the mud, sand, clay, older older no need. A child's sensory processing will mature as they get older. We all experience sensation is our own individual ways. Some people can be extremely sensitive to noise, light, touch, smell, or movement. Others may under respond to such sensations. So sensory development is very important for all skills. So all parents must know about sensory development, and then it's important. It's very important. They have to know about it is important. So that's why I am showing this presentation, this slide. At week 15 in the fetus, all joints form can move inside of the fetus. That is body awareness. So body awareness, where it is happening is inside of the fetus itself. It's happening. So baby will start to hear muted sounds from the outside world. There's mother digestive system also, heart sound also, and voice. And then outside somewhere anything is they are talking relatively something or rhymes or anything, stories, they can hear from inside. And then vision develops as the eyes become sensitive to light. Baby may register a bright light outside mom's tummy. Yes, they can see that light through the tummy. So week 17, baby can move in all direction. So balance and body awareness, it happening in the there itself. So they can move around the fetus. So the balance is happening, the body awareness is happening. They are moving around the fetus. Later on, you can even see the baby kick. Baby is able to smell and taste at week at 28. Week 36, less space to move, tight cues and time to learn about touch. So there itself, all the sensory systems is developing. If it is any breakdowns happening in that time or any after birth also, so they might be having problem with the sensory processing also. So before going to the sensory modulation, I need to show something, some videos related to that sensory processing disorder. Just a second.
There you go. Come on. Come on, sweetheart. You can do it. There you go. Good girl, Reagan. It's okay. It's okay.
Here, stand up.
What's wrong? I told you weren't gonna like this one. Okay.
Mom, swallow it.
Just try it.
What's wrong with you?
You have to brush your teeth.
Why? Can I vacuum? I can, are you sure? I don't want to scare you. It's not gonna scare you? Is it gonna scare you? Airplane? All done.
All done airplane.
All done airplane. Stamp. Okay, do more. All done.
No.
یا
چی؟
اونجا چی کار میکنی؟ بوی آنین پیاز؟ خب برای چی رفتی موزی؟
Yeah. Can you stop?
Yeah, I hope you are all knows about hypersensitivity and then hyposensitivity and then each systems, sensory systems, right? So sensory modulation is the ability of our central nervous system so adapt to incoming sensory information from our body and the environment. It helps us to take in relevant information. Relevant information. So you are hearing my voice. You can hear the environmental sounds. So what is the relevant information here? So my voice. You can see the slides. You can hear something. So that is the relevant information. Filter out irrelevant information. So you can filter out. So all the environmental sounds, that visual clutters, visual arts, something in your wall. So prioritize our focus, adapt to change in the environment, regulate our arousal levels. Arousal levels means if I'm reacting for in the correct manner, that is arousal. That is regulating. That is regulated well with me. Okay, it is two types, high arousal and low arousal. High arousal means they are fight and flight action about everything. If anyone touch behind him, he will take it, get up and run away. That is the high arousal. So low arousal mean if any crackers is behind him is bursting, he will not respond for the crackers. That is a low arousal. This is the example, I think so. Okay, so we can go for the next one. So hypersensitivity child, you saw the video. So overreact easily for each sensations. Maybe sensitivity to noise, touch, movement, auditory, all those things. Difficulty in crowds, busy. So you will not enter into mall, theater, that kind of signs and symptoms you can see. Difficulty with change and transitions. Yeah, if I'm taking to the school to the one way, so another day, if you are taking to the other way, he will not accept it. Okay, so that is the routine he regularly he can follow. He wants to follow the routines. Easily upset, overly sensitive, very anxious about some environmental or person or instructions, any simulation. Emotionally insecure, frequent tantrums, avoid activities, escape. So he wants to escape from the activity. He always avoid the activities. He doesn't want to play with the peers. He doesn't want to do sports activities with peers. So here, hyposensitivity child, how it is reacting, how they are reacting. Passive child, dull affect, tires easily, difficult and non-interesting task. For an example, everybody not interesting in example for handwriting, but they also low sensitivity. Do not respond to name when called. Misses cues, difficult to engage. So here we can see the sensory seeking child. Sensory seeking, you can see in the hyperactive child. Those are the signs and symptoms. You can see it in the ADHD child, right? On the go, they fidget something in the hand, pencil, eraser, something. They can't sit still. They doesn't want to sit in the classroom. They always wants to wandering around the room. All kind of activities we can see. Chewing something, chewing the corner of the paper or collar shirts, impulsive. So he wants to jump from one activity to another activity frequently, very excitable, very faster than other kids. So he is not focusing or noticing it. Face or hands are messy, maybe a safety risk, clumsy, bumps into people or uncoordinated. So those signs and symptoms you can see the sensory seeking child. So for for sensory processing problems, was what we can do, creating the sensory diet. So D for do an informal and formal assessment with the professionals. Individualize. Individualize means which sensory systems is involving with the behavior. What is the problem he has? Which sensory systems involving in that problem? So we need to individualize. Then environmental supports. Environment supports. So we can modify the environment according to the sensory overload. Then we need to more focus on the power sensors alone. So quickly you can give the intervention towards the sensory processing disorder. This is the way you can do it, creating the sensory diet. So do an informal and formal assessment through the we can find it out whether the child is seeker, active avoider, under responder, or overwhelmed through an assessment. What assessment? We are using many questionnaire like a sensory profile, sensory processing measure, and then observation based on sensory integration. So many national approved standardized test we are using. So for parents in the Google itself, they have some checklists is there. You can do it informal assessment by yourself for parents. So individualize the sensory diet. What was work for one person may not work at all for someone else. Correct. So some children problem with some sensory systems, some other children with others. So we can work for all with all interventions. Okay. So it is individualized, customized with every children. So environmental supports, how we can do? So other people mean parents and peers. We should know about what he need. So according to them, we can modify ourselves. So organization, predictable, structured, consistent environment, task or curriculum, visual support, escape environment. Escape environments in Americans they are doing like tent out, sit outs. So all those escape environments they are doing in the school environment also. So the power sensors. So power sensors mean the vestibular proprioception tactile. So we call it as a TVP. So TVP, the vestibular is a movement. Proprioception, input through joints and muscles. Tactile, deep pressure touch. Okay, so we can go for one by one. Before that, so we should know about the intervention. Intervention is of a sensory processing disorder is called sensory integration. The goal of sensory integration is to challenge a child in a fun, playful way, so they can learn to respond appropriately and function more normally. Right? So how we can give? So why we should focus on power sensors? So imagine that is a sensory bucket, the blue color. Okay, we need to fill that quickly with some input. What input we can give? So vestibular, it is filled with 60%. Proprioception 20%. Tactile 10%. Other senses are 10%. So which one we can use for that intervention quickly? That vestibular, proprioception, tactile. So that's why we are call it as power sensors. Okay. So tactile system, proprioception, vestibular. So in the tactile system, tactile system we knows. It is present in the skins. It has 7 receptors carrying our inputs from the skins, like a touch, deep touch, pain, vibration, everything. Each sensor, each receptors is carrying to the CNS. Okay. So each receptors responded to the different stimulus. So here are the hyposensitivity signs we can see. decreased response to pain, notice touch but can't identify location. So if one touch somewhere, he can't find it out. For example, insects is on the skin is he can't able to find it where it is insects is going on. And number of items it's dropped. Yes, if they are carrying something, pencil or cell phone, whatever, eraser, something, or books or water bottle, when it is dropped, they doesn't know. Poor discrimination. Poor discrimination, they doesn't know how the objects are, the size and the weight. Ever they can't able to discriminate the size and shapes. Body awareness without vision. They can't take it out the pencil or eraser from the backpack without looking into the backpack. Disheveled look. So how does it look it in the home? Delayed fine and grass motor skills. Overly explore object with their hands. Difficulty with buttoning, snapping, tying. Difficulty with art, math, writing, cutting. Right. So these are the symptoms we can see it in your home. The hypersensitivity pulls away from anticipated touch. So they are flight and fright actions because of that hypersensitivity. So response to with aggression to light touch. Yes, they will get to anger. They will beat other kid also because that boy is coming and touched me. That's why I beat at him. So he answer that immediately this one. So avoid certain styles and textures and clothing. Yes, some children doesn't like that tagged cloths. He doesn't want wear the tagged clothes, full sleeves, and then party wears. So there is kind of clothes and all they doesn't like. Awareness of play activities that involve body contact. For example, finger painting. Aversion to grooming task. Yes, they will avoid that grooming and hair cutting and then bathing. Everything they will avoid. Dislike certain food textures. Yes, according to the food textures, you will not eat some of the foods like uh, vegetables, apple, some curd rice. They will doesn't like curd rice. So it is according to the food textures. So how it is impact in the home? Aversion to art materials. Yes, they will not use any art materials. Picky eater. Yes, the child is asking frequently the same food. In the morning, afternoon, evening, I need only Maggie. That is a picky eater. Unwilling to participate in group activities. Pushing hit those that get too close. Difficulty remaining seated, difficulty attending, following direction, difficulty screening out stimuli. So these are the things you can see. So here, what does the accommodation for ideas for the home and classroom? So hypersensitivity child, we can provide tactile activity before fine motor activity, like a bean, rice bean, therapeutic, plate off, and then foam. So particular textures we can give, like a scrubbers, all those things we can give. The professionals are using that Wilberger brushing protocol before going to the activity. So that is well helpful, but professional only will use that one. So teach with tactile mediums. So tactile mediums mean encourage a child to play with a variety of different sensory mediums to encourage the hands to explore the different tactile sensations. Hide a few of your child's toys in your container filled with the sand and encourage your child to find the toys by feeling for them. Therapeutic letters, bumpy math manipulatives, shaving cream, hand fidgets. Hand fidgets, we can give some of the toys, clapping her finger songs through the rhymes. Have student carry something with two hands. If she is your toucher. So ask the child to carry something heavy objects or something. Hypersensitivity child, never force a child to touch the materials, touch the glue and paint it, touch the paint and then do the finger paint. So don't never force. Present materials inside a gallon ziplock and they can decide when to open it. So what are the materials they doesn't like to touch? You just put it on the gallon ziplock in front of him, ask him to wait, and then decide where he want to open it. So present tactile mediums that will stick to hands. Try letting student touch medium with brushes, popsicles, sticks. Don't make faces and itchy noises when you touch it. Gagging and throwing out of fear is traumatic. So proprioception sense, it is present in the joints, ligaments. So each joints, the proprioceptor sense is carrying the proprioception sense. It is smoothly functioning tells about our own movement or body position, how we are rising up, how we are raising our legs to stand on some object. So all those things. So when it is problem, when the proprioception senses difficulties, debilitative bumps, crash, stomp, or slap feet, tapping or drumming, they will trap or drum something. Rubbing hands on table, biting or sucking on fingers, cracking knuckles. Prefers shoelaces, hoods, and belts to be tightly fastened. In the car also, they wants to tightly the need to fasten that seat belt. Constantly chew on foods, difficulty positioning their body, poor body awareness, frequently break, drop objects, lean on hands posture, poor posture. They will may take your balance on the table and then sitting. That is a poor posture. So how does look it in the classroom and home? Crash tackle interferes frequently. They may be toe walker. Choose on objects in the corner. Difficult with the coat and fastening. Falling, tripping, bumping into the things. Holds pencil with appropriately. Some children are holding the pencils tightly, holding pencil loosely. So this is according to the proprioception processing. They may messy walk. So what are the adaptation we can do? So allow frequent changes in move. Use a solid seating system, armrest, weighted vest, weighted lap, weighted wrist, ankle cuff, tight head, headband. So all those things we can prescribe for them. So body pillow at a circle time, bean back, chair at his desk, weighted or padded snake around the shoulder, hide out tent with pillows, lycra clothing, weighted writing tools and vibrating writing tools also we can use for them. So this is a vestibular sense. Vestibular sense, the information from the vestibular receptors in the inner ear, it is present in the inner ear, inform the brain about head position, how we are tilting the head, right, back, side to side. So when we are moving our head position, it is immediately tells about how we are in the same position, which position we are. So smoothly functioning. Takes in sensory messages about balance and movement from the neck, eyes, and body. It is generate muscle tone. Tell us whether we are moving, what direction we are going, and how fast we are going. So movement can change an individual's attention, arousal, and alertness in the shortest period of time. The effect from vestibular input can last longer than any other input. So if you are giving movement break to the child, ask the child to go around the room and then jump on the trampoline and come back. Definitely, they will give like 10 minutes sitting tolerance to us. So that is the shortest period of time we can get it, the arousal and alertness level from the child. If the hypersensitivity in the vestibular processing, he may have fearful reaction to ordinary movement activities like walking on the uneven curves, steps, apprehensive walking or crawling or uneven and unstable surfaces, seem fearful in open space, appear clumsy, want their feet on the ground, doesn't want to be feet off the ground. So these folks need gentle experience and support as they become more comfortable. So hypersensitivity child seekers actively and one second actively seek and demonstrate a need for intense movement experiences, whiling, jumping, spinning objects, pacing, may include visual stimulation, stimming. We our seeker can become overexcited. They need monitoring. Gaps of vigorous vestibular activity with proprioception, heavy work or joint compression can. Under responder may need gentle encouragement to encourage in movement activities. So adaptations are wants continual touch or hand holding, fearful of stairs, fearful when moved, teacher sliding, students chair closer to the table, plays alone on the playground. They doesn't want to play with the peers or someone. They may be fidgety. They may be clumsy and uncoordinated because they're having problem with the vestibular processing. So difficulty staying seated. They doesn't want to be sit in one place. So they wants to around the place, shaking, rocking, jumping, something. They wants to do something on the table or something. So bouncing, spinning, head on the floor or playing with the shoes. They may be still playing with the someone, the hair. Visual accommodations, movement breaks built into the day. Day-to-day activities you should to build, you just to give the sensory diet activities into the day-to-day activities. So the movement breaks called um, the vestibular activities alone, like jumping, hopping, um, side jump. So all those activities is coming under movement breaks. So foster of various movement that are acceptable in classroom. Alternative sitting, like sit on the tea stool, therapy ball. So that can be very helpful for the child. Provide tall desk or counter to stand and work, write or something, or do some other activities. Use tape on the floor to allow but also limit movement. Ask the child to be in the tape. Mini trampoline swing, rocking chair might be helpful for the child. Crawling under over through the chairs or sofas would be helpful. Respect fear of movement and heights. If the child is hypersensitive with the vestibular, so we should restrict for the fear of movement. So we should give slowly and gradually the activities to the child. Other one, rocking chair at circle time, therapy ball, stand to right. So all I think it is repeating from there. So next one, auditory. How many minutes? Hypersensitivity. Hypersensitivity signs are cries, screams, or become angry at sudden noises. For an example, cracker sounds, washing machine spinning sounds, and then whistle sounds. Has strong emotions when noise volume increases. If the child in front of the child, if the parent is raising the volume of the tone of the voice, they might be having difficulty with to tolerate that one. Maybe they will cover the ears. Avoid everyday noises such as toilet flushing, water flowing, for that example. Bothered by high-pitched noises such as whistles, chalk, violins. Distressed by metallic sounds such as silverware clinking or noises from a xylophone. So hypersensitivity, how prefers loud music. They prefers this. That is just opposite from the hypersensitivity. Seems to always use an outside voice. They wants to put a musical instrument through the drums or tapping on the tables, something they will make sounds. Enjoy loud noises. For auditory strategies, play matching sound games. Connect movement with the sounds. If I clap, you just stand. If I whistle, you should sit. So that is the connect movement with sounds. Rhymes and chants. Headphones. Headphones for auditory hypersensitivity and hyposensitivity, we can use Mozart through the headphone. Calming music. Sound machines, musical instrument, pre-record books, earplugs. If the child is avoiding some noise from the environment, we can give earmuff, earplugs. Ask professionals to prescribe to you that. So reduce volume of intercoms, loudspeakers, consider placement of desk, play calming and alerting music, allow work to be done in a quiet area if possible. So these are the adaptation. Visual processing. So avoiders maybe covers ears, eyes, squints, or screens outsides. Avoids bright and sunlight. They doesn't want to go to the mall theater because there are many bright lights and so we can see. So they doesn't like to go there. Withdraws from participating in group movement. Scares of moving objects. Avoid direct eye contact with other kids or other person. Frequent headaches, dizziness, or nausea when using sight. Unaware of contrasting colors, tones, unable to determine distance. So these are the avoiding behaviors we can see. So seeking behaviors, stares at bright lights, flickers or direct sunlight. So just opposite from avoiding, stares at moving objects like a fan and then leaves, car wheels. So these are the moving objects they likes to see. Whole science items close for inspection. Then corner vision also they might use for watching TV or something. Has difficulty for focusing on stationary objects. Seeks visual stimulation such as spinning, patterns, fans, and fence. So what are the accommodation we can give? Minimize visual clutter, increase light to increase arousal, decrease light to decrease arousal. Natural light is calming. The use of bright color is alerting. Soft colors are calming. Use picture to help with transitions. Make a clear indicator of where the child should sit. Carpet square or X on rug or put circle on the floor. Provides visual clues for what happens in different spaces of classroom. So visual accommodation, again the accommodations for allows students to wear light sunglasses like black color, yellow, green. So these are the sunglasses as the child to wear that. Provide color overlays for reading. Use study colors and room dividers. Limit amount of items on the page. Use your visual schedule. Use file folder with the cover cut in half thirds to limit decrease visual information. Provide escort for first day for buddy systems. Buddy systems in the first day, if you are sending in to any extracurricular class or a school, so you just give a buddy system for the child. So olfactory and gustatory, hypersensitivity and hyposensitivity. The hypersensitivity avoids particular smells like even perfume smells also they doesn't like to smell. And then if you are cooking somewhere, the sound that smell also they doesn't like. Toilet smell and then garbage covered smell. So they avoid particular smells. Become agitated or frustrated around certain smells. gags with certain smells. If you are giving some banana to the child immediately gag. I saw some child gags with certain smell. Avoid public places. Yes, because some that smell that doesn't like to be hugged or close to the other people. So hyposensitivity smells objects that seem out. Enjoy strong scents. So just opposite from the hypersensitivity. Smell objects constantly, smell people constantly. They always wants to be sit with the other kid, closely to the child because he wants to smell. So he smell that is the other kid. So what are the strategies we can? Aromatherapy, aroma oils we can give. Blindfold smells. Ask the child to blind and then ask the child to express the smells. What are the name? So taste and smell. Scented fidget toys. Scented play dog. Guess that scent. Berry smoothies. Scented rice play. So these are the strategies we can use it in the home. For oral sensory, this is extra sensory. So this oral sensory is it has all sensory together in the oral, the tactile, proprioception. So the both senses it has. Hypersensitivity avoids certain texture of food. Difficulty with new foods. Gags, chokes, or drools often. Difficulty using a straw. Problems chewing or swallowing. Avoid mushy foods. So these are the signs you can see in the hypersensitivity. Hyposensitivity just opposite craves certain foods. Prefer spicy or hot foods. Bite frequently. Bites chew nails. Mouths non-food objects. Chews furniture, toys, pencil, etc. We can see that. So what are the sensory strategies we can do for oral? So blow bubbles, blow whistles and other instrument. Make an edible necklace, chew gum, hot candy. You can see it in the pictures. Drink from water bottle with a bite valve, applesauce through straw, alternative chew toys. So tea chew tube, Y chew tube, so jewelry necklace, all those we can give. So then eighth sensory system of introspection. Introspection is what feedback from our body organization it provides. It refers to the awareness of body, internal organs, internal signals. Help us answer the question: How am I doing? Whether I'm hungry, I'm feeling full. This system is responsible for telling us when we feel angry or tired. Okay. So without sensory integration therapy, how the child will get older in the older set, the issues may become magnified as we get grow older. They may avoid some of the activities. They may be compensate some with the activities. Withdrawal from overwhelming activities interferes with the daily activities, increase the reactivity and our isolations that doesn't want to be go away from the home. So these are the complications we can see without sensory integration therapy. So this is the important one. So we need to find out whether the child is showing behavior or this is meltdown. Meltdown means sensory, says sensory problem. So how we can find it out? So in the behavior, the child want a goal, driven by a goal. They may be screaming, kicking, shouting, stamping, swearing, biting, throwing, hitting. The both child is doing the same, both behavior they will exhibit. But how we can identify whether the child is doing through the meltdown or behavior? If the child is showing behavior, if the child is getting that goals, they will they will stop that behavior. Usually it is because of they want something. Child sex, checks to make sure you are paying attention to the behavior. If you are not paying to the attention to the behavior or to the child, you just switch it off. He doesn't show any behavior problem with that. So once the child gets what they want, the behavior will end abruptly. So no autonomic nervous system involved in this one. So we can't see the any other no autonomic function of that. So child will return to the normal activity under 5 minutes. In the sensory problem, child, they may driven by a reaction to something. We doesn't know which sensory systems is involving, why he is bothering about that. We doesn't know. So the reaction is to overload or feeling overwhelmed. The child doesn't not care of anyone to paying attention to him. He always doing the same behavior to the others. Behavior will continue even without an audience. There is no goal. The behavior will only cease once the child calms down and when a loud has helped them to regain control. Here, the autonomic nervous system is involving. So the signs see which are not under the child's control, such as red ears, we can see sweating, flatulence, dilated pupils, we can see, will take 45 to 60 minutes to return to the normal. Some children taking whole day to crying or biting, show everything. We can see the behavior. I saw one child is all day, from morning to evening he is crying. Why he crying we don't know, because of that introspection. Introspection, he feels something in the internal organs. He doesn't know how to express that, so he is crying for whole day. The parents are doesn't know how why he is crying. So because of this, so that's why I'm explaining about sensory systems to the parents. The parents must address this problems with the kid. So that's why I'm explaining all those to the parents. So next one, are you clear about this? I hope it is clear. So each child is a unique individual with a range of sensory thresholds of every events in daily life. I hope we have sparked your imagination and empowered it to you to find ways you can help each child. Remember, see motor, think sensory. Understand? So now is the questions time. We can start.
Okay, so we have a question in the chat box by
Uh,
Nimisha Arya. My son is 14 years old. Earlier, few sensory issues disappeared now. It has again appeared. He has become restless to sensory needs. He is eating soaps, throwing water, hitting objects in mouth.
okay. It's purely about oral sensory. So eating soaps. He likes to taste something, so that's why he is eating soaps. And then that particular texture he need. So that's why he chooses the soap. Throwing water. He is seeking the visual, that sound, also sound. So if he play with the water, what he is getting, that sound, and then that water is going up and down. So he just looking through that. So he just is seeking that behavior. So we need to work for the oral and then visual and then hitting object in mouth, right? Hitting object in mouth. That because of proprioception in the oral. So for all those, we can prescribe certain things for oral, like T chew tube, Y chew tube, kind of chew tubes there. That might be helpful for the kid. 40 years, 14 years, yeah. Any other questions?
Participants, if you want to ask any question, you can simply raise your hand. Jitendra, Meena raise the hand. Jitendra, you can ask your question. Okay, Ananya also raised the hand. Ananya, you can ask your question.
Sir, would like to know bit of information about sensory diet.
Yeah. Okay, sensory diet. Yeah, okay. You want to know about the sensory diet, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sensory diet is according to the child. What are the sensory systems is involving to the child? The behavior or a sensory processing disorder. What are the systems involving? We need to find it out. According to the systems, we need to frame the activities to the day-to-day activities. So first we need to find it out the sensory systems, which sensory systems involving. So according to that only we can frame that one.
Yeah, she is mostly trying to touch and feel others' hair, sir. She want to always touch hair, disturb, feel with nose, hands. She want to just give pressure on the hair, and she want to feel. So yeah,
Okay.
I
Own hair
have
or
given
other hair?
alternatives. Like I have bought that woolen type blanket. I have given soft teddy bears. I have given cotton this thing to just give her the feel. But she
Hmm.
is not okay with that. She want to always touch the hair and feel. So I would like to know
Okay.
what.
Okay. Give variety of textures, body scrubbers, and then a variety of cloths.
Uh,
That we are already you are giving that woolen cloth something, right?
yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Now try variety of cloths, and then you can give Wilberger protocol. You can use.
Okay.
Ask a professional. They will teach you that
Okay.
according to the child. That may
Mhm.
be well done through the
Okay.
professional.
How about that olfactory thing, sir? How can we introduce any like essential oils or anything, perfume or means essential?
Yes, yes, yes. In Amazon itself, many aroma oils are coming.
Oh, okay.
Okay, if the child is hypersensitivity, according to the many aroma oils is there. Hypersensitivity, that is also we can give plenty of things. So some lemon flavor, some
Okay.
of the that oils and all will helpful for hypo.
Okay.
Okay, that oil will helpful for hypo. Lavender, something, some calm smells are will helpful for hypersensitivity.
Okay. Mhm. Okay, sir.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Thank you.
So we have another question in the chat box
Mm-hmm.
by Mr. Pehul.
Okay, okay, okay. So other, shall I read that?
Yeah, my kid
What?
doesn't eat anything. Earlier
Ah,
we were feeding her and
two types of
uh,
foods.
two
Okay, now.
types of foods. Now she avoids everything and only drink milk, juice, snacks. 3 years
Mm-hmm.
old. She doesn't eat any cooked food. And
Mm-hmm.
my there's another question.
Okay,
My
okay,
yeah.
okay. I will answer for first question.
Okay.
Um, this is purely about oral sensory, right? So oral sensory, we can use chew tube, vibrating brush. So variety of texture we can give into the oral. So that you need to get professional guidance for this one. So in home, in this situation, you can do try variety of foods with juice like apple. You just don't give through the apple in the through to the give through the juice. First, start with the juice and then go for apple. Like so, this only we can do. So slowly you just introduce those foods with our. So next question is, my son is 6-year-old. He had many sensory issues. Everything slowly reduced after therapy. Only brushing hair and using scrub while bathing, and haircut is there. It is not going okay. For the kid, you can use vibrator comb. Vibrator comb just use for the kid. He will desensitization will happen for the kid. So slowly he will cooperate for that. And then use a variety of combs. And then use massage for hair. Every day 2 times you should massage the hair, head massage, just to give the sensory issue will reduce. Any other? Thank you.
Okay, so
Any other?
yeah, Ananya want to ask something.
Shall I read it? Child is 1-year-old. When the child was in lying position, rotating his head in 180 degree, he doesn't explore the toys, but he makes the toy to produce the sound. He had a cataract surgery and seeks more visual stimulation. How to reduce his head rotation? Is doing head rotation for vestibular and then visual. So both sensory is seeking. So that's why he's doing this behavior. So we should give sensor intervention for us, visual and then vestibular, like slow swinging in your home. In your home, you can use slow swinging or something, and then for eyes, you can use sunglasses and pinhole glass. You can use for the kid.
So there is one more question. What kind of food should be avoided if child has hypersensitivity?
What kind of food should be avoid? We can give all the foods. We can try to the child all the food we can give. No need to that selective food and all is not there.
Okay, thank you, sir. So participants, if you have any other question, you can simply write us mail at contact@popsbelieve.com. And thank you so much, sir, and thank you so much, ma'am, for being here for our parents. And thank you all the participants for joining. And you all have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rasu sir, and thank you,
Thank
Suseela
you.
ma'am, for the
Thank-
session. Thanks for
Yeah.
your valuable. Thanks for all the participants.
Thank you. Thank you.